Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to make a short video on how if you can change your perception towards something, you can change that thing. And a lot of people will question me that okay, how you see a thing highly affects it or it highly affects your performance. Sure, but it doesn't change that thing at the end of the day, does it? My answer to that is anything or person that's there in your life because of the impact they have on you. Because think about it, none of us know anything actually. All we know are our perceptions of certain things, right? For example, my friend. So I have a certain perception of my friend, and another friend of mine has a certain perception of that friend, and our perceptions are completely different. But who is my friend really? So all we know about things are our perceptions of things. I don't know my friend. I can say I know psychology, but no, I only know psychology from my perspective. My friend only knows psychology from her perspective. We say we know things, but we only know it from our perspective. So end of the day, the only reason something matters to us is the impact that it makes on us. So, overall, you literally don't care about anything except the impact that thing makes on you. Like the thing, it only exists in your imagination and in your head because of the impact it has on you. So, when I say, when you change your perception towards something, you can change that thing, what I mean to say is, you can change the impact that thing has on you. And if you can change the impact of that thing, very frankly, in your imagination, that thing has changed. So that way, none of us know anything. And you know what? It doesn't actually even matter. It doesn't even matter what that big thing is, because we only intake like 10% of the stimuli around us. And if we took all of it, that would be too much for our brain to even handle, and our heads would probably burst. So it's a good thing we don't take in all of it. But the 10% that we do take varies in every single human being. So that is where the concept of perception comes about. So the only thing that matters about anything to you is the impact it has on you. That may sound selfish, but that is literally how we are programmed. You can't do anything about it. You can try to know all about a thing you want, but end of the day, it will be your own perception on it. You can try to be more open-minded about things, sure, but end of the day, it's your own perception on that thing, okay? You have an open-minded perception of it. So the way you see something is what changes that thing, okay? So let's say you are really desperate for this friend, right? And he or she has not been texting you. But just switch the perception, just switch the narrative, and then that thing will have no impact on you. And so you have changed that thing. You have changed that thing. Earlier, that person used to be so annoying for you, or that would have created anger in you, like frustration, conflict in your head, right? But now that person has no impact on you. So that person has changed. And sometimes change also shows in different ways. Like that person, once they realize that energetically you have withdrawn, they will come to you. So that will be a more visible form of change, you can say. But you nevertheless change that person by changing your perception. Similarly, you can change events this way by just saying that, you know what, there is no right or wrong, it's just perception, it's just how I see it. There is no right and wrong in this world. For example, you met a person, right? You had some vibes where you felt that you could be in a relationship with this person, a romantic relationship, right? But you didn't get the relationship, end of the day. So a person who is attached to this outcome of a relationship would be sad because they had that perception, right? But a person who just realizes, wait a minute, this person, he didn't give me a relationship, but he did teach me how a secure relationship of any sort, be it a friendship or a romantic relationship, works, will actually treasure that moment more so than having a relationship. Because they did not have expectations. They did not get attached to the outcomes. They were present in the moment. Their perception never involved an outcome which was supposed to be the right outcome. We think that when we want something and we want it so bad, it's always the right thing. But what if there is no right? What if there is no wrong? Perhaps there is fear in that thought because you think in terms of, okay, but then where do I go? Let the flow take you. I mean, plan certain things that are there in your control, but just let the flow take you with it. Because there's no right and wrong. Just assume that everything is working out in your favor. For example, there was this competition, right, that I wanted to take part in. It was an international competition, and I could not take part last year as well, and I really wanted to take part this year because it's for a certain age group, and next year I'll be too old for that competition, right? But I saw this mail on like June 10th, and June 24th I had my exam starting. And earlier I used to have a tendency that whenever I'd get some creative ideas for competitions like these, I would always just go for it, thinking, whatever happens will happen. I would just be so engrossed in that idea that I would do it anyway. Okay, this time I just realized, no, no, that's just not right. And also the deadline for this competition was, I think, June 30th, and my papers started 24th and they ended on, I think, 1st of July. So there was no way that I could actually take part in this, okay? And it was extremely painful for me to not take part in it. But in the next 2 to 3 days, I received a new mail from this other site, which also allowed the same age group to participate. And what more, their deadline was late August. And then I realized, oh my God, I let that old opportunity go. So this new one came in. Or even if you would say, okay, but maybe you would have received the mail anyway, then also I saved 3 days by not working on the old competition. Otherwise, had I been so attached to it, I would have been writing that article for the old competition. And when the new opportunity would have come, I would have just felt annoyed that why did I always have to rush things, So what's meant for you can never be taken from you. Just understand that, and just understand that everything is always working out in your highest favor. How do you know what's happening to you is bad? Maybe you want that relationship, maybe you want that job, maybe you want that opportunity. But understand that the ideals that we have in our head, they're supposed to happen at a very high level. They're not supposed to come to you overnight. I think we don't appreciate these stepping stones that we get. For example, learning to heal your attachment styles via certain experiences, then having someone who teaches you how a secure relationship works, then finding the person perhaps who is the one for you. And I don't think we appreciate the processes below that, when the entire process is to be appreciated, because without one, the other literally would not have happened. So how do you know that what's happening to you is bad? And in some cases, maybe you're not getting that thing because that thing will completely destroy you. Maybe it will take from your time. Maybe God sees something that you don't. So stop thinking in terms of nothing is working out in my favor. Everything is always working out in your highest favor. Remind yourself this every single morning, okay? And also, when you understand that it's all your perception, to change that person, to change that event, to change that thing, all you have to do is change yourself. I think that's the most accessible thing we have. You cannot force another person to change, but you can change yourself whenever you make the decision. And by changing yourself, you change the other. It literally starts with you. It's the most empowering thing that I've ever learned, that literally everything is in my perception. My self-perception, I control it. Nobody else does that. Nobody can know me the way I know me. And similarly, to change something, I control it. I literally control it. It's all here. In my head, if I've controlled it, I have controlled it. I've taken the situation in control. Maybe you don't see it. Maybe you feel that you would have tackled the situation the same way anyways. Maybe you feel that all this doesn't matter, it just reduces your stress, but your energy towards the situation changes, and whether you see it or not, your energy plays a role in your attitude. For example, in the past, when I needed permission from my mom to do something like to travel to this place, and I had never gone out alone, and she was so afraid she would not send me out, I just started believing that I have always been doing this. And I was also kind of afraid because, right, I'd never gone out alone, but I knew I needed to learn that skill. But for that, I needed my mom's permission, right? I just told myself I have always been doing this. I always travel alone. I've always been doing this. And when I finally asked my mom for permission, I said it in such a casual sort of way to her, like I travel every day anyway. Like I didn't exactly say this, but I said it with the energy of that casual tone, like I travel every day. I said it with that confident tone. And that was the reason she allowed me to go ultimately. And that, trust me, was just not possible. Like literally, if you were in my shoes, you would know that this was really a miracle, okay? With your perception, the energy you bring to the situation, it changes. And if that changes, your behavior changes. And if your behavior changes, if it involves a person, that will definitely change. There will be something in the situation that will change. It starts with you. Change starts with you. All your perception, all this power you have in your hand. But beware. This is a very, very powerful tool, okay? Use the right way, it's everything. Use the wrong way, it can put you into a deep hole, and you don't want to go there, okay? And you've always had this tool. I just made you aware of it. Like you can see that task, you can see you're studying as a chore, okay? You can see it as an everyday task, but why do you have to see it as a task? See it as, let's say, a fun thing. Just pretend that you're a person who has always enjoyed this. Or you know what? You can find ways to add joy to small things in your life. You can always find it. You can always put on some nice music in the background. You can always get up a bit early, and instead of studying, just devote 10 minutes to yourself. That actually makes you want to get up in the morning. Even if I have like 10 hours of work ahead of me and the week is so hectic, and there were times I just would not want to get up earlier, what I would do is, before going to sleep, I would tell myself that for 20 minutes when I wake up, I get to do this thing for myself. So that would get me out of bed quicker. I would wake up 20 minutes earlier just for myself. And that also gave me a lot of confidence that, like, oh my god, I'm so valuable. I wake up every day 20 minutes for myself. My joy is so valuable. You can add these small moments of luxury into your life. Sure, it will require some more energy, but it will make life worth it, worth living. When you're going to school in your car or whatever, put on a Spotify podcast, put on some nice music. Be creative with your situations, okay? You can change your perception towards it. You can add new things in the situation. You can take advantage of the situation for it to work in your favor. And most importantly, your work is important, but consistency over perfectionism. What do I mean by this? Consistency requires to be with the simple things, not the hard things, okay? Perfectionism, when you start doing that task on the last day, then it gets difficult. Then you have to do it all at once. It's simple things all clubbed together, they become hard. And if you have perfectionist tendencies, there's no way you're not going to procrastinate. How do you remain consistent? You realize that, okay, I have to study one page of this chapter every day. But perhaps you're not able to do one page every day. One day you are able to do it from the book. Another day you're like, okay, I don't have the energy levels for this. But what I can do is I can at least take notes from it. At least I can, let's say I can take notes on my iPad. I can make it all colorful. I can make it like a flow chart. So that would make it more fun, and I would have actually done the work. Like not that efficiently, but I would have done the work, right? And the next day again, you don't feel it. You can make sticky notes. Point is, find different ways of doing the same thing. Find an easy version of the task, quote unquote. And don't think of it as a small task. It's not a small task. Nothing is small, okay? Just do what you can do according to your energy levels. Stop seeing your daily life as a chore, okay? Because that's a really sad way to live. It's only after I think 2 years that I've finally shifted into this mindset of there is no right and wrong, of finally finding a schedule that works perfectly for me, that allows me enough flexibility, and that I am consistent with, that I am finally so happy even when the week can be so stressful. Just start seeing them in a more positive light. Me, for instance, I used to like really not like economics, okay? But I, every morning when I wake up, I just speak from my affirmations list. Economics is my favorite and most scoring subject. And guess what? When a subject is a favorite, you actually want to study it. You actually want to do it. Like you actually want to study it in your free time. You actually make notes for it. You actually do it. And I thought to myself, okay, what do I do? What would I be doing with psychology right now? And I treated economics that way. And that way, I had a more positive attitude towards it. And guess what? I have been enjoying economics, and I think I'll do much better on my exams and tests coming up next. At first, it will seem fake, but seriously, sometimes just fake it till you make it. Just pretend. Just pretend you like that thing. Pretend that you have always been a social person, okay? Your past doesn't exist. It's literally just a thought in your head. You control it, you control things. You always have the power, okay? When you're stuck in traffic, you can either choose to be so bored, or you can just take a deep breath and be like, okay, I can use this time for some enjoyment, or I can do it to learn something, or I can just read a book on. And especially with our phones around, you have no excuse, okay? Just believe that you being stuck in traffic is actually such a positive thing, because that means you're getting some time for yourself. You have all the power. Also, you guys need to stop treating your emotions as your problems, okay? When you're happy, you don't think in terms of, okay, but when will this happiness go away? When you're sad, you always think in terms of, oh, when will my sadness go away? Your emotions are literally just an indicator of the problem, okay? For example, if there is physical pain in your arm, you go to the doctor and the doctor reveals there's, let's say, a broken bone. But if the pain had never been there, you would have never known about the broken bone. So the physical pain wasn't the problem, it was just an indicator, right? Your emotions are also just like that. They're indicators of where you need some healing, they're indicators of what is causing you distress. They're not the problems themselves. Just be like, okay, I feel sad. And but at the same time, like, don't wallow in it, okay? Like earlier, whenever I used to be upset, either I would, completely suppress it and continue to do my work at my normal pace, or I would just completely sit down because I'm sad, I'm taking it off. But now I think in terms of, I am sad, so I accept it. Okay, and then I do a task that is compatible with my current energy level. And guess what? The sadness goes away a lot quicker. But you cannot be doing this to get rid of your emotions, okay? Your emotions are never a problem. Don't try to get rid of them. Just accept them. Just accept them. And work according to your energy levels. You can plan in advance for your bad days, okay? Like just make a document in advance when you're happy, to plan in advance for your sad days. And it doesn't just have to be like one schedule. It can be multiple, because you can feel sad in different ways. Some days you're lonely, so you'll have more activities which require you to get out and also do journal. Some days are sad because of just, let's say, old stuff. Some days are sad because of this new thing that came up. So plan it. You can also plan in advance. You have the power. You have the power. You don't know when those emotions will come, but you do know how to work with them. Not despite them, with them. They help you. They're helping you recharge in some way, to take it slow in some way. Because the hustle and bustle of everyday life will always tell you to do work like that. But if you're consistent with your work, trust me, you will do well. You will do well. Consistency does not mean perfectionism, okay? Be consistent with simple things and be consistent with it in different ways. It doesn't just have to look the same every day. That is how you embrace your daily routine. I hope this helped you. I hope this uplifted you in some way. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.